Hey everybody, welcome to the garage. Today we're going to be replacing a power steering pump on a 2009 Honda Accord, 4-cylinder, 2.4 liter. It's a pretty easy replacement, so should be a nice easy job here. I'm going to start it up and show you guys what's going on with it, let you listen to it. Power steering pump's making a whining sound, or a not really a grind. Well, it kind of grinds a little bit right now, but mainly a whining sound. The steering still works fine. It's just a common telltale sign that it's about to go out. So we're going to go ahead and get it replaced before anybody gets hurt driving down the road, or before it completely crashes and dumps all kind of metal shavings into the system. So I'll pause it, start it up and let you listen to it, and we'll be right back. Alright, as you can hear, that little booger right there is what we're going to be replacing. After we get it replaced, we'll come back and let you listen. Give it a listen to what a new one sounds. Welcome back, guys. What we're trying to do is change this power steering pump right here. I'm going to go through a step-by-step process on how to do this. First things first, though, first thing you want to do with any repair job, always make sure you got a cold one ready. Next thing you want to do, take your part out that you got from the store, the replacement part. Hold on a second, let me get this out. Alright. Next thing you want to do is get it out, just compare it. There's my new one. There's my old one. Looks like it's the right part. Believe it or not, guys, more often than not, you will get a wrong part. So anyway, to give ourselves a little bit of working room here, what we're going to start doing is this little clip here, this hose here, just to give us some room. Take this off. Actually, we can probably go ahead and just take it off right here, since we're going to reuse this fitting anyway. So we're going to take this one off, slide this hose out of the way, kind of tape it up or do something with it, get it out of your way. And also we're going to take this one off of the reservoir. If you can see it right there, we're going to take this one off. But first you might want to drain your reservoir. I've got a little suction tube that I'm going to use to pull that out with. So I'll do that and I'll return right back. Alright, guys, so I got the hose fitting and everything off right here. Took a 10mm socket. I got my hoses tucked out of the way here. I did go ahead and drain the power steering fluid. Several reasons. Number one, just because this car's got 150,000 miles on it and it's never been changed, and while I was in here doing this, why not go ahead and do it? It never hurts. A word to the wise, though, when we go to these quick lube places and they try to tell you your power steering pumps or your power steering fluid smells like it's burning and it's turning black, well, that's what it's supposed to do. Some will turn black, they'll turn brown. New, they're pink. For this car in particular, I think that it's a blue color or a greenish color. It's just a full synthetic power steering fluid. I do recommend reusing, not necessarily Honda, but a Honda compatible power steering fluid. Couple reasons. Number one, this power steering pump has a lifetime warranty. if it ever goes out, you can take it back and you can get a new one. What they may try to haggle with you on or give you a hard time and possibly void the warranty is that you did not use Honda power steering fluid or Honda compatible fluid with your change. You might ask, well, how do they know that? Well, a lot of times these places record it by the phone number, record your purchase by the phone number, and they'll pull up that receipt and they'll see that you also purchased a Honda compatible fluid with your power steering pump. So that is a number one telltale sign that they can't argue with you. So the next step here is taking the belt off. I've also kind of started it here. If you look down there, you can see my socket with my breaker bar. You can use a ratchet, but the breaker bar is just a little bit thinner, easier to get in there. It takes a 14 socket, and you can see it's just right past the, right below the power steering pump. That's the belt tensioner. I'm going to pull clockwise on it to relieve tension off the belt and take your belt off. Before you take your belt off though, you want to look, and you can see there's no stickers on this front bumper. This car has been wrecked. I know it is because it's my car. So whenever they replaced this front end and this plastic, they didn't replace the stickers that go here. And it's all it is a, somewhere right in here, it's a sticker that shows a belt diagram, the routing of the belt. So unless you're good and just want to go for it, go for it. But I would recommend taking a piece of paper and drawing your pattern of your belt, just in case something was to slip off down below that you can't see when we go to put it back on. So we'll go ahead. I've got another little cheater here, a big wrench. I'll slide over that breaker bar to give me leverage to help pull this belt up off here. Let's get down here if you can see it. See how it lifts my belt up? So I'm going to go ahead and do that when I've got both hands. It's also a good time to check your belt for any wear while you've got the belt off or partially off if it needs replaced. Now's a perfect opportunity to go do it. Okay guys, got my belt off here. I went ahead and took that other fitting off. Next is going to be these bolts right down here. There's one here. There's one here. If you can see that. And I think that's all on this one. Just the two bolts holding this on. I don't know if I'd elaborated back on this power steering fluid or not, but about the quick lube places. They tell you that it's black and brown, smells like it's burning, and it needs to be changed. That's nothing to get excited about. I mean, unless you got the money to pay them to do it and you're really particular about your car, you know, it's not a bad thing, but it's not a requirement. I've never had one done, to be honest. This is the first one that I've completely drained the reservoir and going to start from scratch. But it's like a $89, $99 service. I mean, you go in for a $19.99 oil change and walk out of there spending $150, sometimes $200. It's not necessary. That's what I'm trying to get at. Unless you really want to do it. I mean, I'd have at it. Nobody's going to stop you. But just a word to the wise. I know they take advantage of a lot of women that go in and don't know anything about their cars. Not saying that there's no good women mechanics out there, but they just see that as an easy commission. But you don't have to do it. That's what I'm getting at. I don't recommend it. So we're going to go ahead and get this pulled off and put the new one back on. Hopefully be done in 30 minutes. I mean, this is a 30 minutes with me recording. This probably, if you quick and know what you're doing, this is like a 15-minute job. So I'm going to pause this and pull this off of here, and we'll go ahead and get the other one ready to go. Alright, y'all, just wanted y'all to see another little telltale sign of how that's some bad power steering pump. See all this garbage, all this grease and junk that's all over it? Yeah, it shouldn't all be there. So now that we got it pulled off, it took a 14mm socket to pull that off of there. So I'm just gonna wipe that up a little bit, get that grease off of there best I can. I'm not gonna detail it or nothing, but just get the excess off. Also, check your belt. No cracks, no fraying. Belt looks good. So I'm gonna get the new one here. It's right here. We'll get it prepped, get her stuck on here, and hopefully be done in just a few minutes. All right, we got our power steering pump back on here. Oh, sorry, I'm looking through the lens of the camera. Bolt here. A bolt right under here. That's all it is. Don't over tighten these guys. You're screwing into a block of aluminum alloy. So get it finger tight, and then maybe a half of a turn on a ratchet. Just ratchet it down a couple times till you have to put some force behind it, and just give it maybe a fourth of a turn, half of a turn if you want to feel comfortable, but don't go no more than that. Now we're going to get our belt put back on and we should be done. Well, aside from the hose fittings, but that's the easy part. Whew, I'm back. This little serpentine belt a little bit harder to get on than it is to get off. Sure, a lot of us can relate a lot of different ways with that. First things first though, I'm not getting sponsored yet, so I don't want to show you exactly what I've got here, but we're going to have a drink after that one. Okay. Next thing we want to do is pull these little plugs off. That's just coming from the remanufacturing facility. So that dirt and garbage doesn't get down in there. I'm going to go ahead and say that I would take some power steering fluid and put down this hole here just to keep it from having a dry run on startup. Another thing I would do is change your O-rings out. My new one, it came with these new O-rings, so I'm going to pop them off and put them on there. I think I've pulled this one out already. Yeah, I pulled that one out okay. So here's the new ones. They're down in here somewhere. There they are. New O-rings. So if yours didn't come with O-rings, I suggest getting some. It's not a requirement, but again, why would you want to go back and redo this another time because you got leaky hose? So we'll stick these hoses back on, put these O-rings in, stick these hoses back on, fill me up with some power steering fluid, and we'll be on our way. Alright guys, got everything put back together here. Got my hose. Got this hose put back together. Same thing with the bolts. Don't over tighten them. Finger tight, and then a turn of the wrench or ratchet, whatever you're using. Did forget this, so don't forget this. It's your reservoir hose. I have to get a pair of pliers and snip that back together. But fill up your reservoir with Honda approved formula power steering fluid. Fire her up and check for leaks. Make sure you're not leaking around here. And that should be everything. I will start it up here in just a second and see how we do. Alright guys, we're back in the car here. Got it started up. There's going to be some air in that line from where we had the hoses disconnected. You just take and give it a few turns end to end, all the way to the end where you can hear it grinding, and then back again. Also be sure to have the reservoir cap off. That will help. Do that about 3 or 4 times, all the way to the end where it stops. My wife's gonna kill me for having all this grease on her steering wheel. And I tried to wipe my hands off before I got in here. All right, let's go over here and take a look. Got all the air bubbles out of there. Our level is at the right spot. Car's not whining no more. No more than what it should be. Looks like we got a job well done. Alright guys, so thanks for watching the first edition of the garage. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, whatever y'all do on YouTube.